की जय।
Radhe Radhe. We will now have a discourse about Guru Purnima by Swami Maheshwaranand Ji. And on behalf of all of us, I'll request Bhim Bhaiya to offer our appreciation and offer the garland to Swamiji.
प्रथमं सद्गुरुं वन्दे श्रीकृष्णं तदनन्तरं गुरु पापात्मनां त्राता श्रीकृष्णस्त्वमलात्मना अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। बरहापीडं नटवरवपुः कर्णयो कर्णिकारं बिभ्रद्वासः कनककपिशं वैजयन्तीं च माला रन्ध्रान्वेनो रधरसुधया पूरयन् गोपवृन्दै वृन्दारण्यं स्वपदरमणं प्राविशद्गीतकीर्ति नमः कमलनाभाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमलपादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तद्गुं देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। श्रीमद्पदवाक्य प्रमाण पारावारीन वेद मार्ग प्रतिष्ठापन आचार्य निखिल दर्शन समन्वयाचार्य सनातन वैदिक धर्म प्रतिष्ठापन सत्संप्रदाय परमाचार्य भक्ति योग रसावतार भगवान अनंत श्री विभूषित जगत गुरु 1008 स्वामी श्री कृपालु महाराज के जय। We'll chant for a few minutes as customary, and then we'll hear a little bit about the Guru Tattva, the entity called Guru. मेरे गुरुवर प्यारे मेरे गिरिधर प्यारे मेरे गुरुवर प्यारे मेरे गिरिधर प्यारे, मेरे
गुरुवर प्यारे, मेरे गिरिधर प्यारे,
मेरे गुरुवर प्यारे, मेरे गिरिधर प्यारे,
मेरे गुरुवर प्यारे, मेरे गिरिधर प्यारे,
मेरे गुरुवर प्यारे, मेरे गिरिधर प्यारे,
मेरे गुरुवर प्यारे, मेरे गिरिधर प्यारे,
ओ गुरुवर प्यारे,
गिरिधर प्यारे,
ओ गिरिधर प्यारे,
गुरुवर प्यारे,
मेरे गुरुवर प्यारे, मेरे गिरिधर प्यारे,
गुरुवर प्यारे, मेरे गिरिधर प्यारे,
ओ मेरे गुरुवर प्यारे, मेरे गिरिधर प्यारे,
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 ओ गुरुवर प्यारे,
गिरिधर प्यारे,
ओ गिरिधर प्यारे,
गुरुवर प्यारे,
ओ मेरे गुरुवर प्यारे, मेरे गिरिधर प्यारे,
मेरे गुरुवर प्यारे, मेरे गिरिधर प्यारे।
बोले भगवान गुरु गोविंद की। We all suffering in the world. Tension, stress, dukh, no peace, no happiness. And the reason for all of this, something called Maya. Maya from beginningless time has been controlling, governing us, the individual soul, Jivatma. Until now, we have not even found the tiniest drop of true happiness. It means we have to become free from Maya, the ultimate aim, the ultimate goal of life. How? Tulsidas Ji Maharaj says, Guru binu bhavanidhi tarai na koi, jao biranchi shankar sam hoi. One may be as powerful as Brahma, the creator, as Shivji, the destroyer, but he will not be able to cross the ocean of Maya, become free from Maya, without the entity called Guru. Again, Tulsidas Ji Maharaj says, More man Prabhu as Vishwasa, Ram te adhik Ram kar dasa. I have that faith Asa Vishwasa, O Lord, Hey Prabhu, that faith I have, that greater than Ram, greater than God, is the servant of God, the saint, Guru. Guru is such an entity, Bhagavad it says, Nasti Tattvam Guru Samam. Bhagavad Mahapuran. There is no entity equal to Guru, not even Bhagavan. Then you will say, well, how are you going to talk about Guru? Anadhikar cheshta, unauthorized attempt. No one can tell about the entity called Guru. I am making an authorized attempt, but it's important to know, as far as my Guru, Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripaluji Mahaprabhu, the knowledge he has given to me, using that and making an attempt so we can benefit a little bit. Today as we celebrate Guru Purnima, at the end of this wonderful program, with all the problems we face, restrictions, yet in my estimation, in all the sadhana program I have attended at Radha Madhav Dham, this has been the best one. Of course, His grace. And today we are celebrating to conclude His grace, His blessing, by worshipping Him as we celebrate Guru Purnima. Why the Guru has been told to be greater than God? No one can be greater than God. God is the master of the saint. He is the saint is His servant. There's a reason. God has a condition for knowing Him. Condition. Bhagwan Shri Ram, God Shri Ram, says to Sugriv, Nirmal man jan so mohi pava, mohi kapat chhal chhidra na bhava. Hey Sugriv, the Vibhishan is coming and everyone wants to put him in jail, lock him up. Vibhishan was kicked out of Lanka by his brother Ravan. So he came to the shelter of Prabhu Shri Ram. Everyone seen Vibhishan said, oh, he's the enemy. He's a spy. Throw him in jail, lock him up. Bhagwan, the Lord smiled and said, Sugriv, only those who are pure in heart, pure mind, can know me, see me, attain me. I cannot tolerate deception, deceit, fraud. If Vibhishan wasn't a pure bhakt, pure devotee, he could not come to me. So God wants pure heart, pure mind. And who's going to make this heart, this mind of ours pure? Can we do it? No, impossible. If we could have done that, uncountable lifetimes have gone. Forget about one God realization, we'd have attained uncountable. Okay, so can Bhagwan, can God do it? Can Shri Krishna do it? Yes. Shri Krishna is all powerful, omniscient, omnipotent. But Shri Krishna says, no, you make it pure and then come. So we can't do it. Shri Krishna can do it, but he says no. Oh, so he sent his Jan, his saint, the Guru, to do this job. So as far as this job of making the heart, the mind pure, making the vessel ready, which only Guru will do, in that respect he is told to be greater than God, that there is no entity equal to him. And we are supposed to worship Guru just as we worship God. The Vedas tell us, Yasya deve parabhakti yatha deve tatha gurau tasyate katitha hyarta prakashyante mahatmanah. Shvetashvatara Upanishad, chapter 6, verse 23. Ved is telling us, say, just as how you worship Shri Krishna with the same love, the same feeling, worship Guru. Why? Because Guru and God are one. Tasmins tajjane bheda bhavat. They're one. But Guru does what Bhagwan cannot do. My Gurudev Kripaluji Mahaprabhu, in his wonderful book Radha Govind Geet, beautiful doha, Hari mange shuddha man, Hari mange shuddha man, Govind Radhe, Guru man mal dhoke, Shuddha bana de. God says, I want pure heart, pure mind, Shuddhaman. Guru, he cleans the dirt, impurities of the mind and makes it pure. Guru and God. Shri Krishna himself says to Uddhav, Acharya mam vijaniyan navamanyet karhichit. Namartya buddhya suyet sarvadevo mayo guru. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 11 canto, 17 chapter, 27 verse. Uddhav, Shri Krishna is saying, know the saint, the Guru, to be Shri Krishna himself. Mam vijaniyan. Do not see him as a man. Do not use your material mind and intellect to understand him, and know that all forms of God reside in him. Naradji, that great saint Narad, who is also called descension of Shri Krishna, he says to Yudhishthir in Bhagavad Mahapuran, Yasya sakshat bhagavati jnana deepa prade gurau Martya sadhi shrutam tasya sarvam kunjar shauchavat. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 7 canto, 15 chapter, 26 verse. Yudhishthir, know the Guru, the one who lights the lamp of knowledge, the light of knowledge in the heart of the individual. Know him to be Shri Krishna personified. Do not see him as a man. One who does that is like an elephant taking bath. Hathi ka snan. The elephant takes bath in the river and then goes on the bank and throws dirt on itself. Again Naradji says to Yudhishthir, Eshave Bhagavan Sakshat Pradhan Purusheshwara Yogeshwarair Vimigyanghir Loko Yamanyate Nara. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 7 canto, 15 chapter, 27 verse. Yudhishthir, know the Guru to be that God personified. Which God? Brahma. Eshavai Bhagavan Sakshat Pradhan. Pradhan means Maya, or Purusheshwar, the governor of Maya, Shri Krishna. Greatest yogis and saints are dying to get the dust of his feet, and the worldly person looks upon him like an ordinary man. So they are one and the same, but there's something special about Guru. Again, Kripalu Mahaprabhu in Radha Govind Geet says, Guru Hari Guru Ek Kintu, Hari Guru Ek Kintu, Govinda Radhe, Tattva Jnana Prema Dan, Guru hi kara de. Shri Krishna and Guru are one, ek. But when it comes to Tattva Gyan, true knowledge, not by reading book. You can read all the Vedas and all the scriptures from beginning life, uncountable lifetimes. We have seen this book, heard them, read them. You can listen to all the lectures. But we don't get true knowledge. Guru gives that. Tattva Gyan is called. Guru bin hoy ki Gyan. He gives the knowledge from inside. Apremadan, that supreme divine love, Guru also gives. This job Guru does, Sri Krishna doesn't do. Plus he makes the vessel. Everything Guru does, everything. But who is a Guru? What is a Guru? Little time, so I'm trying to give as much as possible. What is a Guru? So the Vedas tell us, Pariksha lokan karma chitan brahmano nirvedamayan nasakitakatena tadvigyanartham sagurumeva bhigachet samitpani shotriyam brahmanishtham. Mundak Upanishad, first Mundak, second Kand, 12th mantra. The Vedas are saying we have to have a Guru, Gurumev. But he has to be qualified. There are two things that make him Guru. He must have Shrotriyam plus Brahmanishtham. Shrotriya means he has knowledge of all the Vedas, all the scriptures. Plus he is able to remove our doubts. But even more important, Brahmanishtham. He's attained the practical experience of God. He's attained a divine love, divine bliss, divine knowledge of God. Same thing in Bhagavad Mahapuran. Tasmar gurum papaddeta jigyasu sheya uttamam shabde parichinishnaatam brahman upashamashayam. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 11 canto, 3rd chapter, 21st verse. Prabhupada Maharaj, one of the 9 Yogeshwars, says to Videha Nimi, King Nimi, we have to completely surrender to the Guru. Tasmad Guru Prapadyet. But he has to be Shabde Pare, mean he has knowledge of all the Vedas, all the scriptures. Sridhar Swami, in his commentary on Bhagavad, says the word Shabde Pare means all the Vedas, knowledge of the Vedas complete. Plus Nishnatham, he has practical experience of God. Sri Krishna also says in Gita, Tad virapranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshinaha. Chapter 4, verse 34, Gita. It is the greatest fortune for one to meet such an entity. If we are so blessed, the greatest blessing you can get to meet the true Guru, the true saint. What should you do? Number 1, tadvir pranipatena, completely surrender to him. Number 2, pariprashnena, attain true knowledge from him by questioning, etc. And number 3, sevaya, serve him, do seva. But who? Jnaninaha, tattvadarshinaha. See, the 2 qualities come here too. Jnaninaha means he has knowledge of all the Vedas and he's complete knowledgeable. Complete knowledge. All the Vedas, all the Shastras. Or tattvadarshinaha means he has seen Krishna, attained a divine vision, divine love. Practical. Only he is qualified. How do we know someone is qualified? When one attains God realization, everything that Sri Krishna has, He gives to that soul. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Chapter 10, verse 10, Gita. Shri Krishna says, I give him everything. All knowledge, everything. Plus, अब करने वाला नहीं है. Now he has stopped doing everything. जो करे so hari करे. Kabir ji says, from now, whatever he is doing, Shri Krishna is doing. A saint does nothing. The governor of the saint is Shri Krishna, Radharani. This is why when a saint is given a lecture, because the governor of the saint is Shri Krishna, Radharani, Shri Krishna himself is given the lecture. Radharani. Through his words flows a divine bliss, and all our doubts which could not be removed after uncountable lifetimes of listening and reading to all the Vedas and Shastras are removed in no time. It has a more profound impression upon us by the word than the words of a person who is just a theoretical knower of the scriptures. We get a foretaste of divine bliss. Shri Maharaji, I remember once in the video said, we were looking at these videos during the program, listen when a saint is speaking, carefully listen to his words. Hear the divinity. Let it pierce into the heart. Associating with a saint should do something. Yet the association of a saint affects everyone differently. Kripalu Mahaprabhu, Shri Kripaluji Mahaprabhu says again in Radha Govind Geet, Hari Guru Chumbak Govind Radhe, Hari Guru Chumbak Govind Radhe, मन लोहा जैसा वैसा खींचता बता दे. God and the saint, they're like chumbak. Chumbak means magnet. Our heart, our mind, our heart, man loha. Loha means iron. It's like iron. And according, jaisa vaisa, according to the condition of our heart, our mind, so we'll be attracted to that magnet which is Guru. For example, let's suppose you take a magnet attracts iron. We all know that. You put a magnet on the ground on a table and you scatter some needles around that magnet, an equal distance away. Amongst the needles, some are made of 100% iron content, some 80%, some 60%, some 40%, some 20%, and some zero iron content, no iron. Now the needles that are made of pure iron, 100% iron content, immediately gets attracted and stuck to the magnet. But the distance from which the other needles are attracted varies according to the iron content, and some needles don't even shake. Hilenge nahi. Look at it another way. A piece of iron has been buried under the earth for centuries and is totally rusted. A powerful magnet may lie close to that piece of iron, yet it cannot attract the iron. It's only when that piece of iron is taken out of the earth, cleansed of the rust, that it gets attracted to the magnet. In the same way, when the heart of an individual has been covered by uncountable lifetimes of wickedness, sin, impurities, he or she is not easily attracted to a saint. And this is what happens usually when saints descends in the world. Each and every individual is affected differently according to the purity of the heart. This is why some people get easily attracted to the saint and some not. 4 boys of different temperaments went to meet a saint. Let's go to Mangar. We hear there is a great saint, Bhakti Dham. One boy was so affected by the divine impact, immediately he renounced the world and surrendered to the saint. The second boy was affected, but not to the same extent. He also started going satsang. The third boy felt nothing, and so he just left. And the fourth boy ended up cursing and abusing the saint. All because of the purity in the heart. The first boy, the heart was so pure. The last one, it was so dirty. Curse, criticize, give a bad name, throw them in jail, propaganda is usually what happens. So if we have a genuine yearning for spirituality, to know God, Radha Krishna, then approach a saint. We should approach a true saint with faith and reverence in our heart. Spend some time in his company. Observe him keenly with faith in your heart. Render all kinds of services unto him. As a result of which, our attachment for the material world will start decreasing, and attachment for God, for Sri Radha Krishna, will start increasing. However, it is not easy for the worldly souls to understand the effects of a saint with our material intellect and mind. So are there not other characteristics which can help us to get to a better understanding? Yes. Evidence based on the scriptures can be of great help. Let's see what the scripture says about the saint. Gunatita sita pragyo Vishnu bhaktasya katyate etasya kritakityatta chhasamasmani vartate. Vedabhyas. Tulya nindastu tirmauni santushto yena kenachit aniketah sthiramatir bhaktiman me priyo naraha. Gita chapter 12 verse 19. Nishkinchana mayyanurakta chetasa Shanta mahanto khil jiva vatsalaha Kamairana labdha dhiyo jushanti attanairapeksham navidu sukham mama. Bhagavad Mahapuran 11 canto 14 chapter 17 verse. A saint, a true guru, is one who takes abuse and praise alike. You praise him, same thing. You abuse, same. He's all kind and merciful, and is one who has abandoned all cravings of the heart, the mind, and is ever absorbed in the love of Shri Krishna, of God. However, it's extremely difficult to recognize a saint on the basis of these characteristics, the true guru. We cannot judge correctly if someone is a saint, a true guru, on the basis of these characteristics, as even one who is a good actor, a material person, an impostor who is a good actor, can pretend to be loving, kind, merciful, devoted to God, etc. And besides, is the nature of the saint to hide his divinity. Gopaniyam, gopaniyam, gopaniyam prayatnata. A saint, a true guru, does everything in his power to hide his true nature from the world. But he does not always succeed in doing so. At times, the inner reality is revealed. What is the inner reality? A true guru possesses the rarest and most precious thing which he tries to hide. If ever you meet a true guru, a true saint, try to find that rare, precious thing in him or her. What is that rare and precious thing? It is called bhakti, prem, divine love. This divine love is the rarest of all attainments. Muktana pi siddhana narayana parayana sudurlabha prashantatma kotishwapi mahamune. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 6th canto, 14th chapter, 5th verse. The Bhagavad Mahapuran says, very rare, very seldom, amongst millions and millions of self-realized soul, is one able to attain that prem, that divine love. Bhagwan Shri Ram says to Kagbasundji in the Ramayana, Bhaktivant ati nichahu prani mohi prana priya asamam vani. Kagbasundji, a Shwapat, a Chandal, the lowest of the low, one who eats the flesh of a dog. If he has love for me, he is dearer to me than my life. On the other hand, Bhaktihina biranchi ki na hoi sab jivahu samapriya mohi soi. Even if he is Brahma, my beta, my son, Brahma, the creator, but if he does not have love for me, he is nothing but an ordinary soul. The Bhagavad Mahapuran says, Vipradrishangunayuta daravindanabha padaravinda vimukha chapachambarishtham manyeta darpita mano vachane hitartha pranam punati sakulam natu bhurimana. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 7th canto, 9th chapter, 10th verse. Prahlad, little Prahlad is saying to Nirsingh Bhagwan, that Shwapat, that Chandal, who eats the flesh of a dog, who has dedicated his mind, senses, intellect, soul, and every activity in the service of the Lord, is far, far superior to a Brahman who possesses the 12 qualities. In ancient times, there were Brahmins, not Kali Yuga, ancient times. They possessed 12 qualities, like knowing the Vedas, able to solve the problem in Vedas, etc. Not in Kali Yuga. He possesses 12 qualities, yet if he does not have love for the Lord, that Chandal, that Shwapat is far, far superior to him. That Chandal not only purifies himself, but many generations of the family he belongs to. Gaurang Mahaprabhu says, Panchama Purushat Soi Prem Mahadhan. That prem, that divine love is the greatest treasure. Mahadhan. So we have understood the significance and importance of this divine love bhakti, which only a true guru possesses, a true saint. Let us now come to the most important point, and that is the symptoms or characteristics of this divine love. This is the most important topic, as it's our best and surest guide for recognizing a genuine saint, a true guru. Parvato bahiniman dhumavatvat yat yat dhumaha tat tat agni. If you're looking at the mountain and very far away, and you see smoke coming from the mountain, it implies there's fire in the mountain. It's immaterial whether you see the fire or not. In the same way, wherever that surging current of divine love is perceived, we can deduce that saint possesses divine love, bhakti, that he is a true guru. The symptoms of divine love are 8 in number. And it is through this that an aspiring soul can immediately guess the rage and fire of divine love that the saint tries to hide. The 8 symptoms are enumerated upon in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Stambha svedo tharomancha swarabhedo thavepatu vaivarnyamapshu pralaya ityashtav satvika smitaha. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rup Goswami ji says, if the condition is right, not all the time, if the condition is right, and the saint wants to shower his grace upon us, the name of the Lord is being sang, then something happens. Stambha, he becomes still like a tree, swayed, starts perspiring profusely. Romanch, horripilation, the pores and the body races on ends, goosebump. Swarabhed, the voice changes. Vepatu, shivers like a leaf. Vaivarnya, the color of the face, the skin changes. Ashru, tears starts flowing like a river. Pralay, becomes unconscious as though dead. These symptoms are proof of the unrestrainable, uncontrollable, depthless ocean of divine love possessed only by a genuine saint, a true guru. There are many quotations in Bhagavad Mahapuran describing the ecstatic condition of saints merge in the bliss of divine love. Evam vratasva priyanama kirtya jata anurago dhutachitta uchaihi hasatya thoro ditirauti gayatyunmara vinnat vannityatiro kabahya. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 40th verse. Kavi, one of the 9 Yogeshwars, says to Videhanimi, a saint whose heart is overwhelmed with divine love, fails to control the swelling tide of emotion in an environment where the name of his beloved Lord is being sung. He laughs, weeps, screams, and sings loudly, dances in ecstasy like a madman. Transgression all convention. Vagadgada dravate yasya chittam rudhatya bhikshnam hasati kvachitcha vilajya udgayati nityate cha madbhakti yukto bhuvanam punati. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 11th canto, 14th chapter, 24th verse. Shri Krishna is saying to Uddhav, defining, describing the true bhakt, the true guru, the true saint. Shri Krishna says, my devotee speaks about my glories in a voice choked with emotion. His heart melts in the anguish of separation from me, and at times he rejoices in the joy of union. And shaken of all shyness, starts to sing loudly and dance in ecstatic rapture. Such a devotee indeed purifies the whole world. Kvachid rudantyachyuta chintaya kvachid dhasanti nandantya vadantya laukikaha nityanti gayantya anushilayam tyajam bhavanti tushnim parametya nirvitaha. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 11th canto, 3rd chapter, 32nd verse. Prabhupada Maharaj, one of the 9 Yogeshwar, says to Videhanimi, describing the saint whose heart is saturated with intense longing for Sri Krishna, cries, weeps in the anguish of separation from the Lord, and the ecstatic symptoms such as stupor, horripilation, perspiration, etc. are manifested in him. At times he laughs and rejoices in the joy of union, dancing and singing, and addresses the Lord as he's right next to him. Many, many examples. We may think we have not seen anyone like that. We heard about someone called Gaurang Mahaprabhu. In the year 1486, in a place called Navdvip in India, Bhagwan Shri Radha Krishna descended, combined in one form, and that was known as Gaurang Mahaprabhu. In his childhood, he was very naughty. No one knew who he was. And once he went to Gaya and seeing the footprint of the Lord, his true nature was revealed. And from that day onwards, he was always in this divine ecstasy. He only stayed 48 years. But before he left, he told his mother, I will come back. Sachima, he says to Sachima, I'll come back 2 times again to bless the souls. One of the time that he came back already in the year 1922, on the full moon night of the month of October, Sharat Purnima as it is called, that night that Bhagwan Shri Krishna performed Maharas with the gopis over 5,000 years ago in Vrindavan, on that exact night, in the Sharat Purnima, in the year 1922, Gaurang Mahaprabhu kept his promise and descended for the first time again in a village called Mangar. Today we know it as Bhakti Dham. I'm not going to go into whole history, time wouldn't allow. He was given the name Ram Kripalu Tripathi. Many, many wonderful pastimes in his childhood, etc. At the age of 16, he entered into the vast, dense forests of Chitrakoot. Many experiences. He has told us himself. No one was with him. Few things he have told us. Sometimes he would say. And he traveled towards, from the dense forests, wild animals, etc., to Vrindavan. He emerged in Vrindavan naked, long matted hair, eyes closed. Everyone thought that he was Shukadev. Not knowing who he was, they started calling him Paramhansji. Paramhans. They thought it was Shukadev himself. He was naked, just like Shukadev. The body, he did not take bath or anything, yet there was no smell, anything from his body. Ha Radhe, and he'll fall unconscious with bliss. Many, many wonderful things happened. He was entreated by souls who regarded him to be a supreme descension, divinity, to please come in the world that the souls of the world will benefit. And so he agreed and started living in the homes of devotees. At what time he was staying in Pratapgarh, at the home of Mahavani, great devotee. While he was staying there in his room, he used to go whole night, they will do kirtan. And in the morning he would go in his room. And no one will go with him. No one knew. No one was in the room. They used to say he is going for office. One day Mahabani heard voices coming from the room. When Kripaluji Maharaj would go in the room, he would lock it from the inside. So he heard voices. And not only voices, it was Sanskrit. Some people were there speaking with Sri Maharaji. He was also speaking, but the conversation was in Sanskrit, not Hindi. I wondered, nobody went in, nobody comes out, he alone. Who is this? Who is he speaking to? When Sri Maharaji came out, he asked him, who was in there with you? Maharaji just took another topic as his nature. He didn't discuss. But Mahavani ji was very persistent. He kept after him. And eventually Sri Maharaji said to him, look, the scriptures, the Vedas and all the scriptures, Bhagavad, Mahapuran, all the Puranas, etc., they have a personified form. Bhagavad Mahapuran is told to be Shri Krishna himself personified. So all the scriptures, the Vedas, they all have a form. They all took their personified form and they came there. And they said to me, look, in this Kali Yuga, everyone is given discourses on the scriptures, galat, wrong. They are given wrong instructions, wrong interpretation of the scriptures. Do dharma, do this, do that. Nonsense. No one understands. You have to do something. Kuch karo. Why have you, this is the reason you have descended for. Sri Maharaji agreed. And so a Sammelan, a spiritual conference, the first one was held in Chitrakoot in the year 1955, October. I'm going to detail right now. Many, many great personalities were invited. And there were some questions put that these people, that these things are confusing the general public. Please clarify, speak on them. All these Jagat Gurus and these great Mahatmas. No one spoke on anything that was posted, advertised. They spoke on something that they knew about. The public became uneasy, restless, and started to, raise their voice. We were told that you people were going to speak on these things and nobody's answering. And the Mahatmas also, they got very perturbed. They did not know the answer themselves. And they said, somebody is wanting to give us a bad name. Who put these questions? And they were told, Shri Maharaji was very young at that time, just 32 years. This boy, Ram Kripalu Tripathi, bring him here. So they all insisted that he has to speak. Shri Maharaji had taken the position of Adhyaksh, that he will take care of all the Mahatmas. When they come, he will take the umbrella and take them around, make sure they are comfortable, everything, that he was not speaking. But they insisted. So he said, okay. And so he started speaking. Everyone was amazed, but on the condition that everyone has to sit and listen. He will speak for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. Everyone was amazed. This news spread like wildfire. There were people from the Kashi Vidvat Parishad, an organization comprising of 500 of the greatest spiritual men in India at that time. All over India. But the body was based in Kashi, Varanasi. When they went back and they told about this young boy, he's speaking on all the Vedas and all the scriptures. Something is wrong. So the following year, Shri Maharaji had another Sammelan in the year 1956, again in the month of October, in Kanpur, a place in UP in India. And there again, people were invited. One guy came, Raj Narayan Shatta Shastri. He was the general secretary of the Kashi Vidvat Parishad. Shatta Shastri, there are 6 Darshan Shastra, and he was perfect in it. And his main aim, everywhere he would go, he would have Shastrart, discussion on the scriptures, and he will defeat anyone. This was his main thing. He was very famous. But he was not invited. When the conference started, he suddenly appeared there. And people went to Shri Maharaji, Kripalu Mahaprabhu, and said, oh, this guy. Shri Maharaji said, oh, we are so blessed today that we have this personality. Srimad Raj Narayan Shatta Shastri, and he will speak to you. He wrote on a piece of paper, I will speak after you. Maharaji said, okay. When Shri Maharaji started speaking, he took a pen and paper. Normally he would do that. He would speak after and take all the notes of where you have made a mistake, and then he will go and destroy you. This was his aim. So he took the pen and paper and he sat. But when Shri Maharaji started speaking, the pen remained right there and the paper remained right there. He didn't move. He didn't move. At the end, Shri Maharaji said, now our guest, our honored guest will speak to you. He wrote on a piece of paper, tomorrow I will speak before you. The next day, when everyone came and sat, they're all excited. What is this? This is Raj Narayan Shastri, what he's going to say. Shri Maharaji also came. He also brought pen and paper. And he sat down, now I'm going to write. But when this guy started speaking, he started glorifying Shri Maharaji, Kripaluji, that we are so blessed. That this is no ordinary entity. We are all blessed to be in the august assembly of such a great entity. We should consider ourselves to be the greatest blessed souls, etc. Maharaji got up and walked out. He doesn't like listening to anyone glorify. Anyhow, an invitation was sent to Maharaji to come to Kashi. When he went back, he also glorified. Something is wrong. So an invitation was sent for him to come to Kashi to speak before this assembly of the Kashi Vidvat Parishad. Shri Maharaji went. And he spoke for about 10 days in Sanskrit. Only Sanskrit. First ordinary, then he increased the tempo, then to the highest. Even the greatest scholars, their Sanskrit flew over their head. There were some old people, pundits, scholars of the scriptures. They don't listen to anybody, but they were so amazed by his eloquence in how he spoke, his pronunciation. They just came to listen to that only. After the 10 days, a meeting was held. What to do? Normally, when someone is invited, they do shastrart. They have a discussion, debate on the scriptures. They asked, now are we ready to do shastrat with him, debate? They said, Bhaiya, we can have debate with somebody who is worldly. He is divine. They recognize his divinity. How can you have shastrat with someone who is divine? Then we have to give the title. For the first time in history, Jagat Guru, the title of Jagat Guru is only given after someone goes before a body of the greatest spiritual minds and they have that debate, and he's proven to be more knowledgeable than all of them combined. For the first time, all this happened, Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, Jagat Guru Ramanujacharya, Jagat Guru Nimbarkacharya, Jagat Guru Madhavacharya, original, only 4. This all happened with them. For the first time in history, there was no Shastrat. Title was just given. Padya Pashuno Pahar. Wonderful, it's written, many titles. In the beginning, I said the Jaikar, Srimad Padavakya Praman Paravarin Vergamar Pratishtapana Acharya Nikila Darshan Samanvaya Acharya Sanatan Vedic Dharma Pratishtapan Satya Sampadaya Paramacharya Bhakti Yoga Rasavatar Bhagavad Ananta Shri Vibhushit Jagat Guru 1008 Swami Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj. This is part of it. A whole list. In this 3 very important things. Many, many wonderful things. 3, just briefly because time is almost finished. 3. Number 1, Nikhila Darshan Samanvaya Acharya. All the previous Jagat Gurus, Shankaracharya, Nimbarkacharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhavacharya, there were contradictions and controversies in the philosophies. They seem to be contradicting the scriptures also. Kripalu Mahaprabhu reconciled all the philosophies, the seeming contradiction, showing that no one was wrong or contradictory, and why they said what they said. For the first time, he made everything clear, validated all of the Jagat Gurus. Then the title Bhakti Yoga Rasa Avatar. The word bhakti, very briefly, means divine love. I told you one day when you listened to lectures, I talked about divine love. That the highest power of Sri Krishna, Hladini Shakti, the bliss potency, the essence of this Hladini Shakti is called Prem, divine love. And the essence of that bhakti, divine love, is called Mahabhav, Radharani. So bhakti means Radharani. Ras means Raso vai sahara sagvam he vayam labdhva nandi bhavati. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 2, verse 7, Shri Krishna. So bhakti, Radharani. Ras, Shri Krishna. Yog means join, to join. Avatar means the descension. The divine descension of love, divine love bliss. Radha Krishna combined. He's telling this is Gaurang Mahaprabhu himself. He's come back. And number 3, Jagat Guru Tam. We hear Jagat Guru, but only he has the title Jagat Guru Tam. What is this Jagat Guru Tam? In English you have good, better, best. In Sanskrit also, Jagat Guru, then Jagat Guru Tar means better, then Jagat Guru Tam means best. That amongst the 5 original Mool Jagat Guru, he is the best. How fortunate we are. We can't imagine the greatest fortune we have. There's so much, as I said, I'm making anadhikar cheshta, unauthorized effort, to speak on the entity Guru and then to talk about Kripalu Mahaprabhu. But he's my Guru, an undeserving soul. He blessed and showered his grace on me and all of us. And today as we celebrate Jagat Guru Purnima, let us remember him, worship him, and realize a little bit of who he is, of our greatest fortune. Shri Maharaji would always say, the more you realize the value of something, the more you'll benefit. If we don't realize the value of what we are getting, we will not benefit. There's much, much more, but some other time. Bole Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ke, Vrindavan Bihari Lal ke, Shri Raseshwari Radha Rani ki, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri